Top 5 Facts about Evolution. Evolution is one of the most interesting and at the same time, debated ideas of our times. It is the idea that creatures of all kinds constantly change from one form to another with the passage of time. The idea has become fairly mainstream, but there are many who still question it. In fact, there are many people in the world who don't believe the theory of evolution. 5. Early human embryos are similar to those of other animals. The embryo of all animals is essentially alike during the early stages of formation. Until the 8th week after conception, the unborn child is still called embryo. After the 8th week, the embryo becomes a fetus. In other words, the embryo of a human is no different than that of a dog, chicken or fish, during the first few weeks of pregnancy. This is because all animals evolved from the same ancestor, millions of years ago. Meaning, all the animals including humans carry the same ancient genes. So, many of the living organisms on Earth are related to each other and share the same development phase. 4. Evolution works along the principle of survival of the fittest. The way that evolution works is along the principle of survival of the fittest. The biological process of evolution is governed by a simple yet powerful phrase given by Darwin. Fossil records across the globe are proofs that this theory is real. In other words, it is a reference to the fact that a species will only survive if it is fit enough. If in case it isn't fit, then the selective process will eliminate it through factors like predators, disease, and so on. Every species struggles to survive, but the strongest one actually survives by the process of natural selection. This phrase is from Darwinian evolutionary theory. It was first used by Charles Darwin in the book On the Origin of Species. 3. The theory of evolution was first proposed by Charles Darwin. The modern-day theory of evolution was first proposed by an English naturalist named Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was a biologist and naturalist who made pioneering contributions towards the science of evolution. Darwin's contributions significantly influenced the scientific community in history and influences even now. He made his contribution through an important book in history. He made his theories public in his book, On the Origin of Species, which was first published in the year 1859. This book talks about natural selection among species of organisms. The naturally strong, competent and powerful organism survives. The theory of evolution is also called as Darwinian theory. The theory explains that all species change over time, give rise to new species, and share a common parent. 2. Darwin came up with the theory of evolution by observing birds. Darwin came up with the theory of evolution when he started to study the finches on an island called Galapagos, in the Pacific Ocean. These finches were later called as Darwin's finches. The Darwin's finches were a group of 15 species of perching birds which are known for their remarkable diversity in beak formation and function. He noticed that the finches had uniquely adapted to their environment and theorized that environmental changes led to the specialization of species, through a process which he referred to as evolution. 1. Humans have tails before they are born. An average person may not have a tail. But that doesn't mean that they didn't at one point in history. Actually, the fact is that all humans are born with a tail. During pregnancy, fetus shows characteristics of a tail which vanishes over time. This feature of human beings is one of the most interesting of all vestigial organs in humans. Once the baby is born, the tail would have shrunk almost entirely. But there are times when babies are born with these vestigial tails which are removed through surgery. The existence of tailbone among mammals acts as proof that humans had tails before evolving into modern human beings. As a whole, the theory of evolution and how humans have evolved is one of the most interesting aspects of science in the world. From the very nature of the idea of how it colors the world with diversity, it is one aspect of biology that is worth knowing about. Many things about human evolution are mind-boggling and mysterious.